Farmer William is heading out to feed his sheep using his quad bike, and we're about to find out how his dad used to do this when Farmer William was just a wee boy. It's a bit different back then. Let's go and meet him.
Hi kids, how you doing? I just thought today I would show you this. This is what I use for, this is my quad bike. I use this for looking my sheep and going around the farm. Now what my dad used to use years ago, going back a wee while, what he used to use was one of these. This is called a Western saddle. Now he put this, he didn't have a quad bike, he had a Highland pony. The one he started with was called Eileen. And he used this to herd a couple of 1,000 acres of hill farm. So when this would go on, I don't have a pony, so I'll use my bike. This would sit on top of the pony like that. And he would sit in this. Now the reason this is, it's got this bit here at the front and the pommel. This was used, it's actually cowboys used this saddle. And what they do is they would lasso the cow and then put the rope round here and use the horse, control the horse to pull the cow back and forward. We didn't use it for that. What it was handy for was where we were, the other farm we had, it was really steep ground. So if you're going downhill, this bit here stops you going over the front of the saddle. Also, back in the day, Dad could take out feeding blocks to the sheep. He didn't have a carrier case like this on the pony, so what he would do, he would put the rope through the blocks, there's a hole through the middle of them, and he'd hook one over here, and they would sit there, and he could take those out to the sheep. And it's a very, very comfortable way to go a horse. Unlike an English saddle, where your legs are up here, and you feel quite unsteady and ungainly. This one here, you put your feet, in the stirrups, and you ride it straight legged. You could also use the stirrups to hold you back if you're going down a steep bit of ground, or hold you forward if you're going up.
I've put the Western saddle onto a saddle stand so that you can have a closer look at the things that Farmer William was telling you about. It's got very intricate carvings on it, on the leather. Do you notice the stirrups that he was telling you about? Isn't it a very beautiful thing? This man was Farmer William's father, who was also called William, with some of his ponies. And this special pony here is Eileen of Glenbuckie, his very first Highland pony. The farm here is very steep hills. Can you see them there? This is the church, Kirkdandy, that we visited before. I thought we might have a look at what these things look like on a map. So what we've got here is a selection of maps, all different scales, which affects how much detail is on the map. Now, if someone that studies or makes maps is called a cartologist, and the study or making of maps is called cartology. The orange lines that you can see on the map are contour lines. And these lines tell you how steep the landscape is. The closer together the lines, the steeper the landscape. And the further apart the lines are, the flatter the area. What we can see on this map showing the farm is the River Stincher, which runs through the farm. And you'll also notice that the lines begin to get closer and closer together, which shows a steep hill. At the top of the hill, it gets very flat, or flatter. And the little burns that run down through the farm that we looked for crystals in can also be seen on the map. On this map, we can see the farm. We can see the quarry where we looked for some rocks. we can see the Struel Whale, which was the Holy Whale, up on the hill above the chapel, or remains of the chapel it says here. And that is Kirkdandy. That's the church that we used to visit during the first lockdown. So when I finish teaching you at Girvan, every night I've got to drive past Pinwhapple Reservoir on my way home. And I thought we could compare what it looks like in real life and also what it then looks like on an Ordnance Survey map. Let's have a look. If we look at this map, you can see where Girvan is. And when I leave you to drive home to Bar, you can see where Pinwhapple Reservoir is and what it looks like on the map. So this, boys and girls, is Pinwhapple Reservoir. And can you see in the distance the special windmills? We're going to have a look at those on a map in a moment too. You can notice how the reservoir's actually frozen over with the cold temperatures that we've had recently. There's lots of interesting things to see here at the reservoir. There goes the water. Down the water stairs. You can see the symbols for the windmills beyond Pinwhapple, the ones that we could see just a minute ago. Now, dotted around the reservoir, we have these. So if we were to encounter any problem, if we'd fallen in or get into trouble on the water, these are available all the way round the loch, and that helps us stay safe around the water. This is the view you get from the reservoir. You'll notice the windmills in the background. You'll see here the windmills that we've just looked at in real life, just here. This is a little boathouse next to the reservoir. Boys and girls, I've come to the pot next. The pot is where the two rivers in Bar join. And of course there's some beautiful ducks to see here too. These wee ducks are always glad to see us. So just behind me here is what was known locally as the Pot Bridge. And we're going to have a look at what it looks like in real life and then compare it to what it looks like on the map. This is the bridge that crosses the River Stincher, and this River Stincher will run all the way to Farmer William at the farm. This map can show us the village of Bar. We can see the school, the post office, houses, forestry. The River Stincher goes all the way through Bar, and there's the Stincher Bridge. That's the bridge that we've just seen. And that's the river heading off now towards Farmer William's farm. As you can see, the grass has been covered by a thick layer of frost and snow. So the ponies on the farm find it more difficult to manage to eat enough grass. So Farmer William is of course looking after them well and bringing them hay. As well as being fed a little bit extra, the ponies themselves make a change to their bodies to survive well in the cold weather, and that is to grow a much thicker fur. Let's have a look. Little Innes has got very fluffy. His little face and his body. He's very lazy. He just won't get up to say hello to you today, boys and girls. Do you see how fluffy he is now? Isn't he lovely? We love him. Good morning, Innes. Good morning, Abigail. Gwen's also become quite fluffy. She's very curious. You can see her little fluffy face. Hello, Gwen. Bye bye, boys and girls. See you again tomorrow.